And hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 73 of the CheckX series. If you're new here, as I say every day, I'm your host, David, and the CheckX series is pretty much all about me talking about everything that Elon talks about on X the day before. And today we are going to talk about what he discussed yesterday on Monday, February 9th, 2026. He posted about 119 times yesterday, and it'll be the number count for the top topic is obviously on politics, pretty much as we do pretty much as it is every episode. He posted about 40 times, 40 to 50 times on politics, somewhere in that range. But today, by the way, if you're new here, welcome in, very warm welcome in. Hope you stay for a while. And if you're not, still warm welcome back instead. But yeah, to start off, as we pretty much usually do on this CheckX series, about talking about Tesla and the Tesla Semi today, actually. And to start off the episode, Elon announced that the Tesla Semi will start high volume production this year. Elon also published official specs of the for the top of the line model, noting a 500 mile range and a 23,000 pound curb weight. And Elon also said that the vehicle can charge up to 60% of its range in 30 minutes. And moving on, Elon recounted a visit from Bill Gates, where Gates claimed long-range electric long-range electric semi-trucks were impossible. Elon countered that Pepsi is already using them to haul cargo over 425 miles. And moving on, Elon also highlighted the total cost of ownership for the Tesla Semi destroys diesel economics, with electricity costing 60 to 70% less than diesel per mile. Elon also celebrated that Auto Plus, a major car magazine in France, awarded the reliability crown to Tesla in 2026. And moving on to SpaceX and the Moon First strategy, which we have talked about in the last, I'd say, 2 episodes. Actually, I don't think he talked about it yesterday, or we talked about it yesterday. He talked about it the day before. We talked about it the day before, excuse me. But to start off this segment, Elon announced that SpaceX has shifted its focus to building a self-growing city on the moon before Mars. Elon noted that a moon city could be achieved in less than 10 years, whereas Mars would take over 20 years. Elon also explained that the moon offers a massive iteration advantage because launch windows occur every 10 days compared to 26 months for Mars. And the trip only takes 2 days compared to 6 to 7 months for Mars. So basically, I mean, it's kind of logical because obviously, to start off, Starship has never landed in zero gravity before, or a different type of gravity. Done the flip maneuver and stuff on different types of gravity, other than the Earth, obviously, other than Earth's gravity. So, and I guess, yeah, you could just input the numbers into the computer, obviously, on board, into the onboard computer of like the actual G force on certain planets. But still, it would take, I feel like, some practice for the computer. It'll take some trial and error, and obviously having those moon missions come first is much more manageable. And yes, Mars still has a different gravitational force on the ground than the moon. It still, obviously, it still will somewhat help the computer learn to do that, because, why would you send a Starship 6 months on a 6-month journey just to have it, not do the belly flop mover correctly or whatever? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, or not do just any general maneuver, like, it'll just mess up, and then boom, there goes 7 months of work. You know, it's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, moving on. Sorry about that little rant there, but just to give you guys a rundown. But Elon also said, despite the moon focus, Mars missions will continue in parallel. Elon also estimated that manned-Mars flights may happen by 2031. And Elon also detailed that Starship V4, the tanker version, by the way, will deliver over 200 tons of propellant per flight, requiring only 5 or 6 flights to refill a lunar transit ship in orbit. And also, Elon noted that SpaceX is now valued at $1 trillion. Elon also clarified that NASA accounts for only 5% of SpaceX's revenue, with the vast majority coming from the commercial Starlink system, obviously. And also, Elon dismissed claims that he depends on military money, stating it amounts to less than 1% of the value of both Tesla and SpaceX. And moving on to AI, Grok, and Grokopedia, the big three here. Starting off this segment, Elon reported a 43% month-over-month surge in Grok app downloads. Elon also highlighted that Grok's image generation is now at the Pareto frontier, and that its translation capabilities, specifically for Hebrew, whatever, are the best on the internet. And Elon also expressed concern that if AI is programmed by extinctionists, its utility function could lead to the extinction of humanity. And also, Elon agreed with a tier list of AGI developers, placing Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic in top tiers, with xAI and Meta also in the A tier due to their resources. And talking about Grokopedia, Elon promoted Grokopedia, claiming it's outgrowing Wikipedia by a wide margin, which is 52% growth versus 4.7% growth in Wikipedia, I'm assuming. And also, Elon expressed interest in embedding it into Xsearch, And moving on to the Epstein investigation and legal defense, just a couple things to talk about here, but because we're pretty much already moving away from that Epstein stuff. But starting off on this segment, Elon pledged to pay for the legal defense of anyone who speaks the truth about the Epstein files and is subsequently sued. Elon also called Steve Bannon evil and bad news, citing reports that Bannon communicated with Epstein post-conviction to help rehab his image through a documentary. Which is interesting. But Elon also criticized the justice system for imprisoning hundreds of January 6th protesters, while not a single person on the Epstein client list has been prosecuted. Which I also find a little bit strange. But moving on to politics and election integrity again. That was a really short little segment there. Starting off, and then we'll move on to media and censorship and global affairs. Just a couple things there before we wrap up the episode here. But to start off this segment, Elon strongly advocated for the SAVE Act, which we've talked about so much before, and Elon has advocated for so much previously, and mandatory voter ID, calling it racist and patronizing, to suggest people cannot figure out how to get an ID. And also, Elon called for the abolition of mail-in voting, except for military or medical reasons, labeling a major fraud vector, which is obviously, it makes sense because mail-in ballots are really easy to, just slightly change the delivery truck's destination. Maybe take it to a facility where, if they voted someone else that party happened to not like, they could put it under a little machine, or just hire some people to do it. Grab a little pen there, grab a little whiteout, just get rid of it there. Grab a little pen and just, mark the one that they want. A simple way to say that, but yeah. Moving on, in terms of Democratic gerrymandering, Elon alleged that Democrats protect illegal immigrants not out of empathy, but to increase their congressional power and electoral votes, a strategy he compared to how slave states viewed slaves in the census. And moving on, like I said, to media censorship and global affairs. Starting off the segment, Elon accused CBS of deliberate election interference by burying the Hunter Biden laptop story. Elon also called for the defunding the BBC for allegedly failing to report on grape gang industries in Britain. Elon also criticized UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, agreeing with sentiments that he is the worst prime minister in history. He also mocked a European venture capitalist who threatened to report Musk's crass language to the EU Commission on Free Speech. He lives in America. You guys have no business with him. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about there. Kind of insane, but ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we'll discuss the traction of orbital data centers, suggesting they solve terrestrial problems like local political opposition, energy constraints, and grid strain. Ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps up episode number 73 of the CheckX series, I think. If you guys made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you guys for watching. And if I could just steal a little bit of your time, I recommend dropping a like, dropping a comment, and subscribing if you haven't already. If I can steal even a little bit more of your time, actually, matter of fact, I recommend going back and watching some of the other recent CheckX series episodes, just as a sequence of events and to really understand what's going on. If you guys don't have time for that, then that's all right. But yeah, again, if you guys made it all the way to the end, appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys around. See you guys tomorrow.